Perched at an elevation over 7,200 feet, you never know what the snowy mountain range weather has in store. Today, snowfall expected as we welcome you to Laramie, a Mountain West clash as Air Force and Wyoming look to win out over the final 2 weeks and make one last late season bowl push. Senior day here at Wyoming, 16 seniors look to lead the Cowboys to a third consecutive bowl game, something that's never been done here in Laramie. Sean Kinney alongside Ohio State national champion Dustin Fox. And quite simply, Dustin, the stakes are high but pretty straightforward for these two teams. At 4-6 each, they must win out, and if they do, a good chance to go bowling next month.
Yeah, there's no doubt. These teams are both 4-6, but when we talked to the staffs this week, you wouldn't be able to tell they're 4-6 football teams. These are teams that have a chance here, 2 remaining games, an opportunity to go bowling.
Long-time rivalry between these two Mountain West foes, the 39th consecutive year that Air Force and Wyoming have hooked up. The Cowboys have had the upper hand of late. They've won 4 of the last 5, including the most recent 2 matchups last year in Colorado Springs, a 28-14 win. Air Force won the toss. They elected to defer, so it will be Wyoming. And this run-heavy offense to get started as we are underway on a snowy afternoon in Laramie. Deep kick and the touchback for the Cowboys as they will open up shop at the 25-yard line. It is an offense that has been revitalized by a true freshman, Sean Chambers, out of Kerman High School in California, the Central Californian kid. 2-0 as a starter since he's taken over 10 quarters ago. He has put up 8 touchdowns, and this offense clicking, averaging over 400 yards per game.
Yeah, it's just added a little bit more juice to their offense. They weren't getting what they wanted out of Tyler Vanden Wal, and obviously he comes in. Chambers has a terrific athleticism to him as well. Over 100 yards the last couple of ball games.
2 tight ends on first down, and they will give it to the Mountain West Conference's leading rusher, and into the second wave, he gallops to the 44, a gain of 19.
Yeah, if Wyoming wants to win this football game, you're going to need a lot of Nico Evans. He has come onto the scene in a big way throughout the Mountain West Conference this season. Big hole to run through, and he's a tough guy to get on the ground. And in a day like today with this weather, this environment, the running game is going to be paramount.
The top rusher in the Mountain West, second in the country, averaging over 145 yards per game. Missed a couple of games with bruised ribs early in the year. Chambers to throw for the first time, and he throws into double coverage, trying to hit James Price.
Sean, they don't throw very much. Last couple weeks, Sean Chambers has only thrown about 20 passes in those 2 football games, but on a day like today, you may have to hit some deep shots down the field.
The weather today, 20 degrees, but it feels like 5 below with the strong winds. 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line. They will give it to Evans, running to that boundary side, and he is chased down. Good pursuit defense by Air Force. That's Lakota Wills.
And I think Nico Evans is a little slow getting up there after that tackle from Lakota Wills. And that's something to keep an eye on because Nico Evans is pretty much their entire offense here at Wyoming. I think it's going to be tough, Sean, running on the perimeters for both teams, frankly, because the footing, I was down the field before the game. Even though the snow has not accumulated, it's still a little bit slushy.
So we'll keep an eye on Evans, a passing situation for Chambers, a play fake. He'll float down the sideline, caught in stride, tackled at the 19-yard line. It's the tight end, Tyree Mayfield.
We haven't even got a chance to get to my keys to the game, but I'll give you a little preview. Big plays for Wyoming's offense, and there on the opening drive, you see the big tight end Tyree Mayfield down the field, little wheel route, and that's a good throw. Drops it right in the bucket for Mayfield, and the big plays is how Wyoming is going to win this football game. There's one in the opening drive.
Mayfield playing in his 50th game, one of the seniors honored during the pregame festivities. Here is Javon Bigelow. He gets double-digit yards, gang pile tackling from Air Force, not before the true freshman rumbles for 11.
And Bigelow, no play on words, is the big back. He's got the size, 6'1", 215 pounds. The true freshman you mentioned is a bruising, powerful back that they are really, really high on here at Wyoming.
Got his first career start this year at Missouri, an SEC school. That's when Evans was out with the rib injury, played well, and he is a guy they're going to look to toward the future for this Cowboy program. Wyoming in business, 1st and goal from the 9. It's Bigelow looking for a hole, and nothing opened up. Jordan Jackson, the athletic defensive end for Air Force, the first one to greet him.
And Jordan Jackson, if you talk to some folks at Air Force, they say he's not like a lot of the other players. And that's not a knock on some of the players at Air Force, but this is a guy that you probably see playing at a Power 5 school. Big time player, 6'5", 275 pounds rather, and he's very, very athletic.
7 games this year. Jackson has registered at least 1 tackle for loss. He is the disruptor. 2nd down, they bring a corner blitz. Chambers to keep it for the first time, and Air Force is not fooled.
Like Parker Noren just shot his gap and saw that Chambers was not going to hand the football off, and does a great job getting Chambers on the ground. Or excuse me, there on the outside linebacker spot has been playing a lot more because there's been a bunch of injuries. Kyle Floyd's a little bit banged up there.
So now Wyoming forced to go to Tyler Vanderwall, who was 2-6 as a starter. He's another freshman, a redshirt out of Elk Grove, California. 3rd down, he's going to throw over the middle, caught for the touchdown. Rocket Ishmael Jr. off the bench, 6 for Wyoming.
How impressive for Tyler Vanderwall to come off the bench totally cold, and the coaches for Wyoming say, I'm just going to unleash the football. Throw the football into the end zone, a play action pass, and a big time catch by Rocket Ishmael Jr. And it is, by the way, very cold down there on the field. Impressive for him to be able to catch that football with his hands.
It's his 2nd touchdown catch of the year. The Rocket. Not really using his speed here. It's the hands on the bullet from Vanderwall. Wyoming fires the opening salvo. Wyoming looking tough on their opening drive despite a couple of injuries. The Cowboys put 7 on the board, 8 plays, 75 yards. And the junior Rocket Ishmael Jr. hauls in the touchdown, an 11-yard strike, 8 plays, 75 yards. And how about the throw by Tyler Vanderwall right off the bench? Let's see how Air Force will respond. Fair catch signal for. And the Falcons will send the offensive unit out for the first time. They're coming off a huge game last week in the win against New Mexico. Put up 623 yards, 478 of those on the ground, and a big reason was a sophomore from Hampton, Georgia, in Donald Hammond III. He rushed for 145 last week, threw a couple of touchdowns, rushed for another. Talented quarterback who can do a lot of things for this Air Force offense.
And he can throw the football too now. And Nevada came in relief and did a great job.
They pitch it to the sprint specialist, Caden Remsburg, and he gets double-digit yards out past the 35, knocked out of bounds close to the 40.
And we chatted with the defensive staff this week from Wyoming. They were concerned about the perimeter. Take a look at our impact players. There's Remsburg right there. Legitimate 10'5", 100-meter dash guy in high school, state champion in Kansas. Jordan Jackson, we talked about him. Nico Evans, the big tailback, got to get him the football today.
15-yard run on 1st down. Air Force back to work. Hammond with the option, will pitch it, and it is Remsburg again out past midfield onto the Wyoming side. 12 more yards and another Air Force 1st down.
Again, you're going to see the pursuit. Good job by Granderson, number 91, down the line of scrimmage. You can see the athleticism from Granderson to get Remsburg on the ground. But they've got to be stout on the edges. That's one of the difficult things when you face this triple option attack of Air Force.
And here's the key part to that Air Force success. Can they get the fullback game going? They were able to do that last week. Cole Fagan, the top rusher on this Falcons squad, gets 5.
Yeah, Scott Hazelton, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, told us they were a little bit concerned, especially in a game like this where the snow can be a factor. The edges may be a little bit tougher to run on, so up the middle, their defensive tackles have to do a really good job holding up against the fullback dive.
See the variety of formations that Air Force will look and throw at you as they run the option. Late pitch, Remsburg with the carry, and a good open field tackle is made. About 2 yards shy of the 1st down. That's Elijah Halliburton with the stop.
again, you're going to see a lot of pursuit. Halliburton's in there playing the nickel spot today. He was a backup safety, but they moved him inside into their defense to basically help them in the run game. So he does a good job flowing the alley and getting Remsburg on the ground.
If you're Air Force, this typically is 4-down territory, so they have 2 cracks at it to try to get the 3 yards. Out of the I formation, they will go up the middle, power football, and a 1st down run by Remsburg. Getting the sophomore some touches on this opening drive. The speedster moving the chains for the Falcons.
It's sort of rare for Air Force to kind of have that one main running back. They usually rotate 5-6 guys in there. You never know who has the football, the fullback, the tailback, but Remsburg has really become the bell cow in this offense.
Fresh set of downs from the 34-yard line. This is Fagan with the carry. Fagan falls ahead for 8 yards, and Air Force is able to get some movement on that offensive line.
So let's take a look at some keys to the game as we prepared coming into this football game. I think for Air Force, the fullbacks have to have a big game up the middle with the conditions. Always want to stay ahead of the chains, right? Got to get 4 yards at least on 1st and 2nd down. And then for Wyoming, we already saw a little bit of that. Big plays from their offense, and then you defending the triple option, eye control. You got to be disciplined in playing your keys.
Saucier is in motion on 2nd down. Look at the change of direction and the burst by Fagan inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line.
Well, there's your fullback dive up the middle. We just hit it on it there in the keys to the game, rather. Up the middle. This thing's going to open up wide open. Good block down there from 77 Parker Ferguson. And Fagan, who is one of the baddest dudes you're going to find. He's a mean runner. He's physical. Picks up a big 1st down.
Coming off that career-high 98-yard performance a week ago. Fagan is the fullback. They go to Saucier over the left side, driving hard, trying to stretch forward, but he meets resistance, and it will be 2nd and goal. Logan Wilson was the first one to put a helmet on him.
This is an area of the field where ball security becomes vital. You're so close to getting in. All you need is about a yard here. Fullback dive again, I'd say.
Air Force looking for the equalizer. It's Hammond on the quarterback sneak, trying to sneak his way over that right side, and he is in. Hammond scores, and Air Force responds with the counter punch.
Very impressive drive here for Air Force. They did it on the outside. They did it up the middle with the fullback dive, and then Hammond just finishes off the drive with the quarterback sneak for the touchdown. There you see the official come in and give the signal. It's a way to respond for the Falcons on the road after a 75-yard drive from Wyoming to come right back with your own 75-yard drive. 9 plays, just under 4 minutes.
Jake Conkey to add the extra point. It's up and it's through. So both offenses looking good. No surprise, the top rushing team in the Mountain West flexing their muscle. Hammond with the touchdown. We're tied at 7 in Laramie.
We thought we'd have a blizzard. I was actually a little disappointed.
Yeah, the forecast yesterday called for a winter weather advisory, a winter storm warning, anywhere from a foot of snow up to 14 to 16 inches. We did not get that type of accumulation. Really, this is the heaviest that we've seen the snow fall in the city of Laramie in the past 24 hours, but it has not slowed down the two offenses, both looking sharp on their opening drives today.
But we've got a huge story developing, Sean, on the Wyoming offense as a couple of their key players have been injured. We'll talk about that on the other side.
It is a concerned look on the face of Craig Bohl, and for good reason. On the opening drive, he watched 2 of his stars, that powerful combination of Sean Chambers and Nico Evans, go down. First, it was the Mountain West leading rusher. As you see that right leg get bent back awkwardly, he was forced to leave the lineup. And then inside the red zone, it's Sean Chambers, a true freshman, gets bent back. All that weight caught on the right leg. He ends up getting carted off the field. So you look at the production that they lost on that opening drive with Evans and Chambers, both those players coming off 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games.
You know, the good news is Vanderwall has been a starter, started the season off as the starting quarterback, so he comes in relief. But remember, he has played a bunch of football here for Wyoming.
From the 25-yard line, they will try the ground game. Not much, a yard. And the depth at running back will be tested for Wyoming with both Javon Bigelow and Xavier Valladay. Right now it's Bigelow, the true freshman from Fresno.
And Sean, I think over the last 5 minutes, the snow has actually picked up quite a bit. You can see it kind of accumulating on the field, and you always wonder about footing on this field turf down there. I was on the field before the game. It was a little bit slippery.
This Cowboy offense has struggled this year, but Vanderwall has come out gunning, and then yards after contact. A foot race to the 30, down to the 20, caught at the 14-yard line. For the second time in this quarter, it's the tight end Mayfield getting free.
What do we talk about, Sean? Big plays for this Wyoming offense. Here again, another little play action pass. It's just a little hook from Mayfield there, and he just makes a man miss, and he's off to the races. Nearly takes this one all the way to the house. Two big throws, stone's throws from Tyler Vanderwall. Comes off the bench ice cold in the ice cold environment.
97 yards in this first quarter for the tight end Tyree Mayfield. Bigelow up the middle, nothing. Falls ahead for a yard. DeMonte Meeks in on the stop. Meeks a good-looking sophomore out of Maple Heights, Ohio.
And we talked with the folks at Air Force this week, and they mentioned DeMonte Meeks, who played most of the second half last week. He was going to get more action at the inside linebacker position because he's played so well. He's really come on, and they like the way he's playing. There's a look at Troy Calhoun. Had a nice chat with him this week.
12th year at Air Force, trying to push the Falcons into a bowl game for the 10th time. He needs a couple of wins starting here in Laramie. And again, nothing for Bigelow on second down. Jackson, another stop.
So big third down coming up here. Obviously, Wyoming feels like they've got to find a way to get into the end zone. Field goals are not going to win you this one. Air Force, especially coming off their top performance of the season, 42 points last week. Already shown Vanderwall that he can make some plays through the air. Looking a little play action pass here on third down.
They will put Austin Conway as a receiver to the top of the field. They have the 6'6" target, Jared Scott, at the bottom. They run the jet sweep to Conway. Turns the corner, inside the 5. Stumbles his way, close to a first down. Looks like on the spot he should have enough as they run the jet sweep. And Wyoming with what appears to be first and goal.
What's impressive to me is Conway's able to stick that foot in the ground. You'll see it right here. And it cut back up inside to pick up the first down. Really, really excellent job there, showing athleticism and also really good job getting his footing underneath him.
You wonder who are going to be some of the players to step up with the injuries to Chambers and Evans. Certainly Conway could be one of those guys. Interesting set. They go empty on first and goal. And it will be Vanderwall on a keeper, dodging his way up ahead. And he'll be marked just shy. Second and goal as Vanderwall is denied. This crowd in Laramie thought he was in.
I thought he was in from our vantage point. I like the call, though. You go empty set, quarterback draw. I think that's a definite touchdown. The first part of his body was his behind that hits down in the end zone.
So Vanderwall comes off the bench, throws the touchdown, and now he rushes for 6. Isn't this a crazy game?
Well, at the start of the game, I thought points would maybe be at a little bit of a premium today because of the weather conditions. And here we go. We still have 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, and 3 touchdowns already on the board combined for both squads. And with the injuries to Wyoming, just been so impressive that the backup quarterback has come into the game and just ignited the offense.
Another 75-yard scoring drive for the Cowboys. Roth on for the point after. Nice job there by Spohr on the high snap. And the Cowboys go back up. Tyler Vanderwall, benched as a starter, but new life here in Laramie, coming in off the bench. He's led the Cowboys to 2 scores. Just moments after getting carted off the field, freshman quarterback Sean Chambers returns, but you see with that boot on his right leg after he was injured on the opening drive for the Cowboys, and now the freshman will become an emotional leader for Wyoming as he passes it off to Tyler Vanderwall, who has looked good out of the bullpen in this first period. The Cowboys 275-yard scoring drive, and Dustin, what's so ironic, this is the worst passing attack in the Mountain West, yet they have over 100 yards through the air. A lot of that because of their big tight end.
Yeah, Tyler Mayfield has done a really good job, and I've just been so impressed, can't say it enough, with Tyler Vanderwall coming off the bench, ice cold, and looking really, really sharp for this Wyoming offense early in this football game.
With that win behind him, Roth sends it deep into the end zone for the 3 carries, 36 yards for Fagan. He'll pick up and add to that total into the secondary, following his tight end Wagaspack, and he crosses into Cowboy territory. Another big run for the fullback, and Air Force cooking.
Just watch the interior, the push of the offensive line for Air Force, and you see Fagan down the field pushing Andrew Winger. That's their top safety, their strong safety, who's the heart and soul of this defense, and Fagan just making him pay a little bit.
68 yards for Fagan in this first quarter. Both offenses moving at will. Falcons at the 43-yard line. They will run the option. Hammond with a pitch, getting to the outside. Remsburg slips free from one tackle and is brought down at the 35-yard line.
So Remsburg is a great story. Obviously just a sophomore out of Kansas. Was a state champion in the 200-meter dash in the state of Kansas. Runs a 10.500 meter. Legitimate speed. Had a 54-yard touchdown run last week. And Sean, he had a big moment after the game. He proposed to his girlfriend.
Love was in the air in Colorado Springs last week. We'll share more on that in a moment. Second down and 2. Hammond on the power play will crash his way to a first down up to the 31-yard line. And last week, Caden Remsburg dropped down to one knee and proposed to his middle school sweetheart, Kaylee Harris, after his Falcons had a big win. Remsburg had a career best 99 yards in that game. He had the perfect game plan all set up. He had invited Kaylee's parents to Colorado Springs. He had hit the ring all day long in his backpack, and then he had all his teammates join him in quite a sight. Hammond is going to try to run for his life, and Granderson caught him. There's the playmaker up front for Wyoming.
Yeah, and they're going to need him today. Remember, he didn't play 2 weeks ago against San Jose State, and then they had the bye week. But watch 91 come in here and does a great job. Hammond, I think, was looking to throw this football, but you watch Granderson get off a block. At 6'5", 261 pounds, is a big-time athlete. I was talking to some folks this week, some NFL scouts, and they believe this is a guy that can play in the National Football League, and Wyoming's going to need him big time today on the edges.
A lot of offense in the snow here in Laramie. Wyoming has scored on both possessions. Air Force trying to remain perfect. The Cowboys going to the air early, only to see Air Force counter. Wyoming by 7. Senior running back Nico Evans was one of Craig Bull's first recruits in that class of 2014. The Mountain West Conference's leading rusher, showing some frustration after getting injured on his second carry of the game. He's second in the country, averaging over 145 yards per contest. So we welcome you back. Second quarter action. It's Remsburg, who's had a good first half, moving the chains, and first and goal coming up for Air Force.
If you talk to Troy Calhoun, he doesn't like the term triple option. He likes to refer to their offense as more multiple. And I think what he means by that is you're not going to see the standard triple option you would see from another academy, like the Naval Academy or Army, of course. But they run a lot of multiple sets. It's a lot of misdirection. And again, we talk about that eye control. That's where that becomes so important.
Fagan is the fullback, first down and goal, and he will get the call. Fagan diving ahead for 3 yards. Granderson and Sydney Malaulu in on the stop. Malaulu, the senior from Seoul, South Korea, a long way from home, but he's been a fixture inside defensively for coordinator Scott Hazelton.
You take a look at the Air Force offense, the rushing attack, 6th in the country, 264 yards a game. and they obviously hold on to the football for the majority of the game. But it's been a problem against Wyoming for whatever reason. The last couple seasons, the Cowboys have done a really good job shutting down that rushing attack, holding them to 176 yards per game.
They pitch it to Fagan, and he will go into the end zone for 6. No stopping Cole Fagan in this first half, and the Falcons counterpunch one more time.
I love the quote we read this week from Cole Fagan. He says, quote, "I love hitting people." And he's an offensive guy, a running back. So we talk about the physicality. He's looking to punish people as he goes into the end zone. A very tough runner from the fullback position. And there again, Air Force responds and answers the Wyoming touchdown.
Extra point up and through for Jake Conkey. And right now it's all about the offense. Fagan with 76 rushing yards. Big kick out block from Marquez. Falcons and Cowboys tied up at 14. The snowfall certainly has not slowed down the two offenses. They've each had it twice in this first half. They've each scored all 4 scoring drives, 75 yards. Big game summary storyline so far. Chambers and Evans, fresh off 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, both left the game on the first drive with injuries. Tyler Vanderwall has stepped in, accounted for 2 Wyoming touchdowns, and then the play of the fullback, Cole Fagan, averaging close to 11 yards per touch. The main cog in this Air Force offense, and it's going to... Wyoming starts possession number 3 from the 23-yard line, change of direction, and there is nothing there. Good play by DeMonte Meeks. Second time we've called his name. Nico Evans back in there for Wyoming.
Yeah, this is a big story. We saw him leave the game. It looked like he kind of twisted his knee up or his ankle on the opening drive, his second carry of the game. But now back in. This is huge for the Wyoming offense. This is the Mountain West leading rusher. They're going to need him throughout this football game.
So 1 rep for Evans, and then he exits stage right. So here's Bigelow back in. In motion goes James Price. Second down and 11. Air Force brings a blitz toward the sideline, and a nice catch made by Price. Good hands. In difficult weather conditions, he's able to stick the glue on, setting up a 3rd down.
I was down there on the field, Sean, before the game, and I'm thinking to myself, how are these guys going to catch the football? It was ice cold. The snow's coming down, the wind is blowing, and that is just terrific concentration. I know it's not a big play, but if you could feel how cold it was down there on the field, anytime someone makes a catch today, it's going to be impressive.
Wyoming's been perfect on 3rd downs. Can they make it 4 for 4? They have 3rd and 6. Pressure comes, and the throw incomplete. Vanderwall paid the price. He had to get rid of it quicker than he wanted to.
That's Lakota Wills, who comes off the edge and provides a lot of pressure. I'll tell you, he had Bigelow open in the flat right away on the wheel. He just needs to get rid of the football a little bit quicker, take a little bit off the ball as well. You see, it was a little bit of a fastball there for Bigelow to haul in. Would have been a 1st down instead. The first stop of the game. We finally see a little bit of defense. You know, something would have to give it.
Crow with the line drive kick. This one goes right over the shoulder of Smith, and this one will roll all the way inside the 10, down to the 9. Now Wyoming is questioning whether that ball actually touched Smith, and we'll get a couple of different looks at it.
Yeah, Smith, he's trying to just fair catch the football, and it goes right through his hands, but did it touch him?
There's the signal.
I don't think it touched him.
Nope.
And you see him let up here at the end of the play. I think he understands maybe. Boy, that's close. From that angle, it looks like he may have got a paw on the football.
It is a swirling wind, and that one certainly tricked him, like you'd see a center fielder misjudge a fly ball. So the worst starting position of the day for Air Force as they open up at the 9. They go 3 receivers, and they will continue with the fullback, Fagan. He falls ahead for 3. Fagan grew up around the sport. His father, Kevin, was an NFL defensive lineman for 7 years with San Francisco. Left Gainesville area high school after his junior year to attend Admiral Farragut, which was a boarding school in Tampa. with a naval focus and a huge football tradition. He did that to try to get some more interest as far as scholarships go. He chose Air Force because of the opportunity to play offense. He had a lot of FCS offers who wanted him to play linebacker, which he was very solid in his high school days, but he wanted to be a fullback. He wanted to contribute on the offensive side of the football, and Air Force has certainly given him that opportunity.
They have, and really he came on the scene last year. Yeah, Parker Wilson was the starting fullback, and Cole Fagan comes in and, of course, replaces him. What's he do? Go 66 yards and a touchdown, and they really haven't been able to take him off the field since.
3rd and a yard. These are the situations that are just made for the Air Force offense, and Hammond will keep it himself. Another first down for the Falcons. You know, it was interesting talking with Scott Hazelton, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, and with that bye week, we asked him, did you mix it up defensively? Did you look at maybe implementing another style? They go with that 4-man front, and he told us, quite frankly, no, we're going to do with what we do best.
Yeah, a lot of teams will switch it to a 3-3-5, rather, or up front, I should say, with a 3-man front. And they weren't going to change up what they do. They were just going to say, hey, listen, we're going to do what we do, but do it really, really well.
And this is only the 4-man front that Air Force has faced all year. Good pursuit defense that time by Wyoming. Tyler Hall was able to get outside and cut off the corner.
Now, Tyler Hall is playing corner in this game because of the injuries in the secondary, so they move him outside. He's usually inside, playing that nickel Sam linebacker spot. And there you see the linebacker mentality from a young man who's actually playing outside at cornerback today.
He has some speed. If you recall, he had a couple of kickoff return touchdowns last year for Wyoming. All-around athlete. They have a lot of confidence in him. 2nd down and 10 from the 21. They pitch it right side, and a lot of green space out in front. Finally corralled at the 41-yard line, but the speed of Remsburg, and he went 10 yards pretty much untouched, a pickup of 20.
Take a look at the little toss sweep outside. There's nobody within 10 yards of Remsburg. You always wonder about the weather games, right? Snow games, muddy games. I think the footing really, really hurts the defense more than it hurts the offense. You're trying to do everything backwards. You're trying to react to what the offense is doing, and I think so far you're seeing both offenses take advantage.
Everything on the ground for the Falcons, and they will add to it. They pitch it, boundary side, Remsburg, a nice lasso type of tackle around the waist once again by Wingard.
And we talked a lot about Wingard there from Wyoming. Andrew Wingard, I said he's my spirit animal coming into this game. This is a guy that just makes every tackle. He's been starting basically since he arrived at Wyoming. First team all-conference the last 2 seasons. And this week specifically, they had moved him into this alley type of safety where he will run down sideline to sideline trying to kind of clean up and make everything right in the secondary. They call him the eraser.
Quarterback keeper by Hammond, slicing his way ahead for a first down run. Going back to Wingard, with that last tackle, he moves into the number 2 spot all time at Wyoming. One of the key seniors for this Cowboys squad. Epps is his partner, really underrated safety in that secondary. We've talked about Granderson up front, and then of course the running back Nico Evans. This is a senior class that has provided a lot of special memories the past couple of years for fans in Laramie.
Yeah, Craig Bull said that he's going to cherish every moment he has with Wingard in practice, in the film room, in the meetings and everything. He's meant a lot to this program. All those guys have, by the way.
An Air Force offense that rushed for 478, a season high in the win last week against New Mexico. Hammond gets 3 yards. And they have this Wyoming defense rattled a little bit. Let's not forget, this was a Cowboy defense that came in feeling pretty confident. They had showed dramatic improvement over the last few weeks.
Well, especially against the run. 19th ranked rush defense in the entire nation. And remember, they had a week to prepare. This is a team that's coming off of a bye week, so you have an extra week essentially to go against your scout team offense with the triple option. It's so tough to face this attack in the middle of the season. Having that bye week, I thought, would really help their defense prepare. So far, it's not really the case.
Hammond is going to throw for the first time, zips it toward the sideline, caught by Bennett, and a first down for the Falcons.
You see Hammond put the football in the air for the first time today. There's Marcus Bennett. the top target they have basically left. Ronald Cleveland again out for another game, their twitchiest athlete on the outside. So Bennett's going to have to be the go-to guy if they need to make some plays throughout the air.
This is the 15th play of the drive that started all the way back at their own 9-yard line. Late pitch to Remsburg, and this time Wyoming says, It's Wingard, able to jump on top, a loss of a yard. But boy, Dustin, when you look at this drive for Air Force, even though they don't pick up anything on this pitch, this is a textbook Falcon drive that
it is.
They have used throughout the years. A lot of plays, a lot of time coming off that clock. They're not taking a snap until that play clock is inside 10 seconds. 2nd down and 10. Ball marked just outside the 13. Quarterback power with that option look. Hammond's going to keep it. Falls ahead for 3 yards. Brought down by Garrett Krall and Revante Holt. Here we go again. Another 3rd down situation for Air Force. They've been golden today. 3rd down, they pitch it. And Wyoming stiffens up. Remsburg unable to get to the corner. That's Marcus Epps escorting him out of bounds, and the Falcons will have to settle for 3.
There, I think you see for the first time the snow on the field becoming a little bit of a factor as the Wyoming defense were able to set the edge. Remsburg tries to make a little shimmy, says, maybe not the best footing. And a really good job there from Marcus Epps, the 3-time captain, flexing the muscles a little bit on Remsburg, saying we finally got ourselves an opportunity to get off the field. Big field goal coming up, though.
28 yards for Jake Conkey, who's 5 of 7 this year. Took over the kicking duties midway through the season, and he sneaks it through that left upright. As the Falcons will go into the break leading by 3, and it's an Air Force offense for the 2nd straight week that has been able to move the football on the ground. Remsburg with 98 yards, Fagan has 83, both averaging around 7 yards per touch. And for Wyoming, can they overcome the injuries to their starting quarterback and the leading rusher in the Mountain West Conference? We'll find out. Air Force will get the football when 2nd half action resumes. It's been a fun half of football in Laramie. Coming up, it's goal line right after these messages. Well, while you've been sipping hot cocoa and some coffee during the halftime break, take a look at what's transpired in the last 15 to 20 minutes. It's the Wyoming version of the human Zamboni machine, synchronized shoveling to make sure that the field is clear and ready to go, plus dodging the marching band as the band always plays no matter the weather elements here in Laramie. And this snow falling as heavy as it has all afternoon. Air Force leading by 3. Sean Kinney alongside Dustin Fox. Dustin, let's revisit your keys to the game.
Well, we knew the weather was going to be a factor. That's why I thought the fullbacks were going to have a big game for Air Force up the middle. Cole Fagan's been terrific. 10 for 83, a touchdown. Stay ahead of the chains. You kidding me? 14 first downs in the first half alone. We saw a couple big plays from Wyoming early, but they haven't had those as of late. Just 2 so far. In the eye discipline, 219 yards on the ground. Got to do a better job against the run.
Air Force on 1st down. The Falcons will pick up 4 yards. One other key note, if you're just joining us, Wyoming on their very first offensive series lost the Mountain West leading rusher Nico Evans to a leg injury. He tried to return, came back for 1 snap. That was it in the 2nd quarter. And they lost Sean Chambers, the true freshman who had been on a roll. So Wyoming playing shorthanded on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, this is a huge drive for this Wyoming defense. They really haven't been able to stop the run. They've got to find a way, Sean, to get off the field. We saw that last drive for Air Force before the first half ended. They went right down the field, like 7 minutes, holding the time of possession. I just think possessions are going to be very limited here in the 2nd half. And if you're Wyoming, you're already down. You're starting running back. You're down. You're starting quarterback. Field position is very vital.
Wyoming still trying to figure out a way to get Air Force off the field. 3rd and short, and it's been this quarterback keeper. They used it for a touchdown early in the game. They've converted on a couple of 3rd and shorts with Hammond, and the Falcons will move the chains on the opening drive of this 3rd quarter. And you mentioned the time of possession. It's a 3-1 edge for Air Force. This is a program that traditionally is in the top 10 in that category. That's how Troy Calhoun rolls it. And in that first half, close to 22 minutes. Play clock inside 10 seconds. Quarterback keeper over the left side by Hammond.
We were on the field before the game. It's 19 degrees. It's snowing. It's extremely cold. It's a little different in the first half when you warm up and you can have that adrenaline. All of a sudden you go in at halftime. It's 72 degrees. You get yourself a little broth, maybe a little hot cocoa, and then you come back out in the second half. You got to try to get your body warmed up again. It is always tougher as a football player, especially defensively, to come out in the second half as you warm up, then you're cold again. Sometimes you don't want to tackle anybody, by the way.
Winter weather advisory continues until 8 o'clock Mountain Time here in Laramie. Big hole. Air Force continues to gash this Wyoming defense. Joseph Saucier with the first down run.
I'll tell you, Sean, Wyoming better start stripping at the football because they can't stop anybody on the ground right now, and Air Force is just having their way with this triple option attack. They got. I saw at the end of this run, somebody comes in, tries to get it out. I think it's Malawia who comes in there, 48, or 46 rather. Got to strip the football.
Good downfield block by Andrew Smith as well. When you play receiver at Air Force, you better block. Look at Hammond, and he's into the secondary. See you later. Touchdown, Air Force. 37 yards, and the Falcons extend the lead.
When we talk about the eye discipline, everybody's got to be in their gap, got to be fundamentally sound. That is blocked up just beautifully by the Falcons up front. Hammond shows his burst, the athleticism from the quarterback position, doesn't pitch the football, takes off and runs. Another 75-yard touchdown drive, 9 plays for the Air Force Falcons.
Ten unanswered points by Air Force, and the Falcons have their largest lead. Donald Hammond.
Timeout on the field.
For the second time today, finding the end zone, and look at the block by Wolfgang Reebok, number 69, as he took out Halliburton, and Hammond took it from there. Air Force by 10. Hammond with a couple of rushing touchdowns. Can Wyoming respond?
24-14 in partner. I just get the sense here that if you're Wyoming, every drive you've got to come away with points because they have not been able to get off the field against this triple option attack of the Air Force Falcons.
Wyoming down 10. Conway from near the goal line shoots right up the middle. Conway out past the 30, and he is corralled at the 34. Been a tough day offensively for Wyoming because of the injuries, not only losing Nico Evans, but also the freshman quarterback Sean Chambers. And look at the production, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns wiped out on that opening series.
A tough loss, and I was impressed the way Vanderwall came right in and led them to a couple of touchdown drives. But since those opening TDs, not much offense, and boy, it's got to be tough on that Wyoming sideline to know that the Mountain West leading rusher is not on the field, the senior, on senior day. That's got to be a tough loss.
Vanderwall is going to float right, looking to go deep. Now settles underneath on the crossing pattern. Price makes the catch. Good patience by Tyler Vanderwall. Fedulum with the escort out of bounds, but a good game for the Cowboys.
It really is a good throw on the move from Vanderwall. And really, when you look at the way this game is moving, it's really fast. A lot of running from really both squads, and with a 10-point deficit, not ideal conditions for Vanderwall to come in with the snow and everything, but you're going to have to be able to throw the football.
Vanderwall's last action was 3 weeks ago, and they lost to Utah State. Bigelow with a collision inside the guards gets 3 yards. He was lifted at halftime, was really struggling. This offense was sputtering, so now an opportunity for the redshirt freshman to step up when the Cowboys needed the most, down 10 in this second half. He kept a positive attitude. He talked about the support that he had for Sean Chambers. The two young quarterbacks are very good friends. Chambers supported him when Vanderwall won the competition coming out of spring ball and fall camp, and Vanderwall returned the favor when Chambers replaced him. Safe pass over the middle, caught the tight end again, moving that pile close to a first down.
Now, something else to keep an eye on here, Sean, with Chambers leaving this game, the plan was for him to redshirt this season, maybe play a little bit at the end of the year. But now because of the injury, maybe I don't know what the injury is, but does he play next week? Do they decide to bring him back in? At this point, you can actually still keep the red shirt on him.
Yeah, this would be his 4th game that he has played in, so if he does not come back next week, he preserves the red shirt. 3rd down, Vanderwall straight up the middle. Boy, he showed some toughness there, lowered the pads, lowered that leverage, and he'll pick up the first down, a much-needed first down for this Cowboy O.
Love the new redshirt rule, by the way.
Absolutely.
It allows guys as young players to get a little taste, to get some action. Obviously, you see the rule. Division I players now can participate in up to 4 games per season as a freshman and keep the red shirt on you. And a lot of teams, they use them strategically, especially when you get to the end of the season.
All these coaches have these fancy spreadsheets that guarantee you in the locker room games left, games played.
Yep.
Bigelow started right, cuts back over the middle, close to another Cowboy first down. He gets 9 yards, brought down by Fedulum and Parker Noren.
Look at just a really good block down there. That's Nate Weinman, the tight end, who really opens up the hole for Bigelow to run through as he goes off to the sidelines.
Bigelow in some discomfort, so here comes running back number 3, Xavion Valladay. Play fake, Vanderwall pumps, pressured, spins away, and now just flops it wildly into the air as he avoided the sack. Was he outside the pocket? Micah Capra put the heat on.
Ball will be on the line. Quarterback's out of the pocket.
Really, really good decision from Vanderwall. You can't take a sack in this situation. I thought he was going to easily go down as the pressure was coming on from DeMonte Meeks. You talked a lot about him there, Sean. He's played really, really well in this game. He came on strong in the second half last week against New Mexico. And a huge 3rd down coming up here. That sack would have taken you all the way back. Now 3rd and short.
We have the H-back, the tight end Mayfield to the left. They'll try to run behind his block. And Air Force says no. Jordan Jackson, the monster on this Air Force defensive line, with the tackle. And Wyoming looking at 4th and a yard.
Well, there'll be no question that they will go for it here. But watch the push, and that's Jordan Jackson. He is just special. When you talk to anybody at Air Force or anyone around the program, he's the guy. He's the guy that jumps out at you. You say, this guy is a dude. And what I mean by that is he's different. He could play at any program in the entire country, yet he's here at Air Force, and he's making a difference on that defensive front.
Vanderwall quickly ducks in under center. He's going to keep it over that right side, and Air Force turns Wyoming away. No chance whatsoever as the Falcons are able to get through. And how about this story? It's Garrett Coppola, who has been out pretty much all season with a broken arm. Playing with a cast, making his return. One of the leaders of the secondary comes up with a critical stop.
It's the second time you're going to go design quarterback run. 4th down. Chambers is the runner. Vanderwall is more of the passer. I don't know about that call.
When it looked like just maybe that Wyoming was getting some momentum offensively, their drive stalls, and here comes Fagan. 10 more yards and a Falcon first down.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
15 minutes to go here in the snow in Laramie. Air Force is taking control. The Falcons on the road. Despite the elevation having no trouble, they lead by 10 on senior day here in Laramie. just a little bit of Air Force blue starting to peek through the clouds. Scenic setting in Laramie as we welcome you back alongside Dustin Fox, Sean Kinney, as we start quarter number 4. And it is an Air Force ground game that has unleashed the full arsenal of weapons today. For the second straight weekend, over 300 yards rushing. For the first time this year, a couple of Falcons go over the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, Fagan and Remsburg have been terrific this afternoon. They've been trouble for the Wyoming Cowboy defense all afternoon. And Sean, not to say the game is over, but boy, that last stop that Air Force created on 4th and 1 felt like a devastating blow to the chances for the Wyoming Cowboys.
When you play Air Force, especially the way they are running the football today, a 10-point deficit is more like a 21, 24-point setback just because of the way they can manage the game clock.
Especially when their offense is clicking. You know, when they're hitting on all cylinders like they are today. And I think really when you go back and look at what they did last week in their performance against New Mexico, it was phenomenal. And their offense put up season highs of rushing, 478 yards on the ground, total yards 623. That is something to build off of. And when you have a quarterback like Donald Hammond and he is healthy, this offense is really, really going to take it to the next level. And they're so excited about the young sophomore quarterback.
It's that reverse pivot option by Hammond. He'll get 3 close to the 25-yard line. The ball popped free late. Wilson had the tackle. Halliburton ended up with the football, but progress was stopped.
Well, that's how they're going to get back in the game. If you want to find a way to give yourselves a chance here in the 4th quarter, every member of the Cowboy defense needs to be ball searching, trying to create a turnover to give your offense another opportunity. The last drive for the Wyoming offense, it wasn't terrible. You get out across midfield, you got a couple of chunk plays, but yet they stalled on 3rd and 1. They were stopped, and obviously on 4th and 1 they were stopped as well.
If you're offensive coordinator Mike Thiessen, you really have 2 plays to get 5 yards here. 3rd down and 5. With the snow, the field markings might be difficult to spot as you view at home. The ball at the 26-yard line. Saucier goes in motion. It's a quick hitter up the middle. Remsburg leaks into the pile. And a 4th down situation for Air Force coming up. Garrett Krall, the stop for Wyoming.
Again, an easy season, or easy situation, I should say, for Air Force to go for it. There you see on the season, 22 conversions on 4th down. Already 1 for 1 today, looking to go 2 for 2.
Wyoming just hasn't been able to get any tackle for losses today. This will be a prime time to get one. 4th down and a long yard for the Falcons.
I try to draw them off sides there with that early motion.
Fagan is the fullback. Remsburg, the wingback to the left. 3 receivers set. Hammond's going to keep it. Follows Fagan, and a 1st down for Air Force. That quarterback keeper right over the guards, following Fagan. Golden today for the Falcons.
When you've got a quarterback who can run, you get that extra blocker in there. And Fagan isn't afraid to mix it up a little bit. We talked about his physicality as a runner. He just likes to hit people, so he doesn't mind being the lead blocker in the hole for Donald Hammond.
1st and goal. Quarterback keeper and a big hit put on. That time it was Mala'ulu who came through, and finally they were able to track down DJ Hammond.
There was a lot of stress put on Mala'ulu before the game. Him and Ravante Holt, the 2 interior defensive linemen. Defensive coordinator Scott Hazelton told us this week that both those 2 guys were going to face a lot of stress because he really thought that the fullback dive and the runs up the middle would be a factor. Well, there you see it. Those 2 guys stepping up inside.
If you're Wyoming, it becomes imperative to try to keep Air Force to just 3. Hammond's going to float toward the end zone, just beyond the reach of Marcus Bennett. Wingard was in the vicinity with the coverage. 3rd down for the Falcons.
You may laugh, but an incomplete pass at this point with 9 minutes to go in the game is crucial because it stops the clock.
Absolutely.
When you're down 2 possessions, every single second is going to matter. And so I know there's a lot of time left, but Wyoming's got to get off the field here, at least force them to kick a field goal attempt. huge third down coming up here.
Yeah, with these field conditions and the kicking game for Air Force, even if they don't pick up another yard, it won't be easy. Throwback screen with some blockers. Here goes the fullback Fagan, and he is tackled at the 3. Marcus Epps and Andrew Wingard in on the stop. They get a good chunk of yardage back, and they set up a much more manageable field goal for Conkey.
This is a nice little easy throw. Throwback screen. You get a good block down the field, and then Fagan cuts up inside, and now gives you a chance. It looks like they're going to take the 3 points, or at least attempt the field goal. I'm kind of surprised you don't leave the offense out there and try to make it a 3-score game.
Conkey today connected from 27 yards. This one a little more than a chip shot, and it hits the upright and scoots in. So a clanger finds its way through.
Timeout on the field
for the junior Jake Conkey, and he's 2 for 2 and trying to hold a little bit of a smile back as he comes to the Air Force sideline. It's been that type of afternoon for the cadets from Colorado Springs. They lead by 13 late in the 4th quarter. A snowy landscape as we move into the late afternoon here in Laramie. Heavy snow for a good chunk of this football game, but the snowfall has subsided a little bit. Fans hoping for a Cowboy rally as we're more than 8.5 minutes to go, and the Cowboys down 13. That last stop, though, big by Wyoming, keeping this a 2-possession game, but they're going to have to open up the offense a little bit more now.
Going to need some chunk plays, and they're going to need to score in a hurry, because there's just not enough time with 8 minutes and 44 seconds left in this ball game. Down 2 scores. The way their defense is played, their offense has got to come up big on this drive.
On the return, out past the 20, up to the 23-yard line. Vanderwall has only thrown the football 9 times today, but he's about to test that arm. Pressure comes, eludes the pocket, has some room to run, past the 30, 35, tackled out of bounds as he stepped out at the 39. Chased down by Kyle Johnson and Cody Gessler.
Now that's a good decision from Vanderwall. Don't force a throw. You see the open lane, take off, get what you can get, move the sticks, and put your offense in a position here to go get some points. And Craig Bull has done a terrific job here in his 5th season, and I loved our chat with him this week. Some of the things he talked about, he said, I'm not into all these uniforms. I'm not into guys who are asking, can I play right away? It's a different type of player they're looking for here at Wyoming as you see Vanderwall go down on the sack.
Cody Gessler with the sack as Vanderwall is toppled back at the 31-yard line. Gessler, the senior from Katy, Texas, 2-year player, enjoying his best season.
Since Craig Bull took over as coach here at Wyoming, they have 27 walk-ons that have earned scholarships in just 5 years. There's 7 walk-on to scholarship players on this roster, and it's really something that Coach Bull goes back to his days at Nebraska with. That's how you build a program.
It was such a pivotal part of Nebraska during their dominant run in the 90s. Good velocity on that throw by Vanderwall as he hooks up with Eberhardt for the 2nd time. And Nebraska relied on that walk-on program, and who better to hear from Tom Osborne, and one of the best pieces of advice that he gave Craig Bull: we never say a guy is never going to play.
They were watching tape of a 4th-string fullback, and Coach Bull said to Coach Osborne, why are we watching this tape? He said, every player on the field gets evaluated. You never know when somebody can help your team win, and that is what he has taken with him. It's stuck with him, and that's what he has here at Wyoming.
3rd down and 9. Vanderwall with a pocket, throws, and a nice midair adjustment is made by Price, and a 1st down for the Cowboys. A throw a bit behind, but Price made the adjustment, and another Wyoming 1st down.
Not a great throw, but it's a really, really good catch. Watch him. He still bobbles it a little bit because his hands are probably a little bit cold and a little bit wet. Does a great job hauling that in. That's a huge conversion.
17 yards in the completion. 1st down, Wyoming. Air Force rushes 4. Little floater looking for Price again. Could not get the head turned around. Coverage by Fedulum.
This would be a tough catch. Trying to go to James Price. Yesterday we had a nice little chat with Brent Vegan, the offensive coordinator, and he said James Price has really come on this season, become that complete wide receiver, arguably their top wide receiver.
Conway and Eberhard split left, Price by himself at the bottom. Second down, nothing open over the middle. They were looking for Mayfield. Now Vanderwall throws, and it's caught. Conway makes the catch, tackled by Coppola. Nice job there by Tyler Vanderwall.
It really was. He had a lot of pressure in his face. You're going to see Micah Capra come in here off the edge, and then Vanderwall escapes the pressure and delivers a strike on the money on the run. Big time throw.
Clock starts up again. Wyoming rushes into that red zone. Here's a velocity throw, knocked away. Good quick hands by Fedulum. He's their star in the secondary. We've talked about these Wyoming safeties, but they have a good one in Jeremy Fedulum.
You may recognize that name if you're a fan of the National Football League. His older brother Clayton is a safety for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he looks up to his brother. Came to Air Force as a cornerback. Was really vying for time, trying to find his way onto the field this year. Doing a great job as the starting free safety.
Still time for Wyoming. The ball at the 24. Here comes the blitz, and Vanderwall dodges, throws across the field, incomplete. Looking for Conway as Air Force dialed up some pressure.
A little bit of a delayed blitz from Air Force, and the pressure obviously forced Vanderwall to step up in the pocket. There was a fastball out there to Conway.
This Wyoming offensive line having a tough time handling Jordan Jackson. Just keep an eye on number 94 for the Falcons. He's lined up front with Micah Capra and Cody Gessler on this third down. 5 minutes exactly to go. Wyoming trying to pull off some late magic. 3rd and 15. Pressure comes. Vanderwall throws, and it's caught at the sticks and a first down. Again, it's James Price. Fedulum with the tackle.
3rd and 15? Are you kidding me? No problem. Watch the pressure on Vanderwall on the outside. Steps up, knows he's going to take a shot potentially, and delivers a strike to James Price, number 80. 1st and goal for the Cowboys.
Running back is Valladay. Remember, no Nico Evans and no Javon Bigelow, both out with injuries. Valladay on that zone read. It's going to be a keeper by Vanderwall. Touchdown, Wyoming. Don't go anywhere quite yet.
Hope he didn't head to 3rd Street too soon, because we've still got a football game left. 4 minutes, 32 seconds. Vanderwall leads a terrific drive here, and it's going to be capped off by a read option. Great decision from Vanderwall to, at the mesh point, keep the football and run it in for an easy touchdown. 13 plays, 76 yards, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. But remember, they did burn a timeout on that drive. On that 4th and 7, they burned a timeout. That could come up huge down the stretch. How about these Cowboys coming back 27-21. Air Force on top.
Craig Bowl has watched Wyoming and his Cowboys march down the field. An impressive 13 plays, 76-yard drive. And now the question becomes, Dustin, does Wyoming think onside kick with the 2 timeouts, a little more than 4.5 minutes?
I don't know, Sean, how you don't go for the onside kick here. I think you have to. You haven't been able to stop Air Force. You only have 2 timeouts. I think you absolutely kick the onside kick.
With the approach, Roth with the kick, and Wyoming's going to put some faith in this senior-laden defense as Air Force will take over at the 25-yard line. The crowd at the War making some noise, and a good start for the Cowboys on 1st down. Granderson, the playmaker, with the stop.
Well, there's that senior. The Sacramento, California, has been through a lot. Had a death in the family a week or so ago and missed the last ball game due to a funeral, and is now back with the squad, and they're happy to have him back because he's such a vital, impactful player on that defense. And again, that's a great stop on 1st down. You talk about keeping them behind the sticks. 2nd and 10. This is where you want to be if you're Wyoming, and I think you start to consider the timeouts after this play.
He takes the snap with a second on the play clock. Hammond gets a hard yard and a 3rd down and 8 for Air Force.
I would consider a timeout here. With it being 3rd and 7, you're not going to get too many 3rd and longs against this Air Force triple option attack. And again, watch the aggressive nature, and it's Granderson who really sets the edge and allows Garrett Krall to come in from the backside for the stop.
3rd down and 8 for Air Force. Wyoming with the 2 timeouts. Can they get the football back one more time? Out of the wing tee, Hammond a reverse pivot, trying to follow a block, and Wyoming slams the door. Granderson and Marcus Epps, and the Cowboys force a 3 and out.
Now you have to hit your timeout.
Timeout, Wyoming.
Great decision. I really
The
think
second of that half, 32nd in length.
that last touchdown drive did something to that sideline. You can almost feel it. They're not a huge crowd here, let's be honest. But the folks that are here, they're alive, they're electric, they've withstood the elements today, the 18 degrees, the snow. There's Pistol Pete. I got a chance to take a picture with him before the game. The fans are excited, and the offense that just went 75 yards on that last drive for a touchdown with Vanderwall at the helm, throwing darts, by the way, to Price and company on the outside. They're going to get the football back with a chance to go win the football game.
How about the faith in his defense from Craig Bohl not to go with the onside kick? He trusted his seniors, and it pays off. And
look,
now,
partner, I'm an analytics guy, right? So I'm going to look at it from a standpoint of what gives me the best chance to get another possession. I would have still kicked an onside kick, but I don't know this squad. I didn't know that they would step up and bow up the way they did on that last drive, that defense of the Cowboys.
Conway awaits the punt, rushes up with the fair catch at the 41-yard line. 59 yards away from where Wyoming needs to be. Tyler Vanderwall, the starter at the beginning of the season, started the first 8 games, lost the job less than 3 weeks ago, and now here he is back in the line of fire. On first down, nearly intercepted. Zane Lewis had both hands on it.
Boy, that is a dangerous throw, and the Pokes just got real lucky there on first down. This should have been intercepted. Watch, you're going to throw this into double coverage. He scans the field. He doesn't even see Zane Lewis playing inside technique, and Lewis nearly comes away with a game-clinching interception. That's a huge break.
Out of the shotgun for Tyler Vanderwall. Looking left all the way, fires down the sideline. Another dangerous throw. Milton Bugg the third with the coverage. 3rd and 15 for Wyoming.
Now, Sean, you don't have to pick it all up here, okay? Clearly, 4-down territory, no doubt about that. They're taking the deep shots. They're looking for the home run here, trying to find Conway down the field. Again, I ask you, where is Tyree Mayfield? The tight end has not been seen since the first quarter.
Mayfield on the line of scrimmage, 3-point position to the right. 3 receiver set, 3rd and 15. Air Force drops 8 into coverage. Vanderwall with some time. Now he's going to scoot up ahead, and he's tripped from the backside by Jordan Jackson. The playmaker all afternoon and really all season comes up with a key stop.
I would consider using my final timeout and drawing up the best possible play you can on 4th and 10.
Timeout, Wyoming. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
And that's exactly what Craig Bohl is going to do.
We'll see which option the veteran coach Bohl goes with on this 4th down play. 4th and 9. Play of the game coming up for the Cowboys. Who will they turn to? No Sean Chambers, no Nico Evans, no Javon Bigelow. They need to get it to the Air Force 48. The Falcons bring a delayed blitz. Vanderwall in trouble, escapes the pocket, looks downfield, nothing open, sets, fires, caught, and a first down for the Cowboys at the 45-yard line. It's Balladay out of the backfield. Oh, how about the magic from Vanderwall?
Are you kidding me? This is an unbelievable play from Vanderwall, and it's really a great decision, too, because he knows He's got to get the first down. No one's open here, can't take a sack, buys himself some time, and finds Valladay down the field.
All sorts of time. Home run looking for Mayfield. Incomplete. Air Force targeting number 85 that time.
Let's go back and take a look at the magician himself. Vanderwall scrambles outside the pocket. There's 3 Air Force defenders there. He knows he's going to take a shot, and boy, does he take a big one from Lakota Wills, number 8 from Air Force, and finds Valladay.
Number 4, defense, prior to the pass. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Wow.
Defensive holding, Milton Bug. It happened way at the top of the field near the Wyoming sideline, so the Cowboys get the automatic first down, and they inch a little bit closer at the 35-yard line. Still tons of time. However, the Cowboys without a timeout. Valladay, the running back, flanks Vanderwall to his right. Air Force brings the delay blitz. Shot downfield, incomplete. Looking for James Price. Help over the top by Fedulum. If you're Wyoming, Dustin, you can still go over the middle. You have plenty of time.
Oh, goodness. You have 2 minutes. There's so much time. In college football, that's an eternity. I don't know why you're taking the deep shots, trying to get it all in one play. And now you just wore out your top receiver, making him run a 50-yard sprint in the altitude.
So he leaves. Rocket Ishmael Jr. is the slot checking in. He has a touchdown earlier today. They go to Ishmael over the middle. Makes the catch. Cannot shake free from Noren. He's close to a first down. A gain of 9. Clock continues to move. 3rd and a yard. High snap, Vanderwall corrals, throws underneath. There's your guy. Mayfield makes the catch. He is pushed out of bounds at the 23. A poke first down. 4th catch of the day for the tight end, Tyree Mayfield.
Been calling it all afternoon. Where's Mayfield? And a really great save by Vanderwall on a bad snap. Delivers the football to Mayfield, picks up the first down, keeps the drive alive. And boy, does that save Keegan Kreider's behind, because he knows he made a mistake on that snap infraction. Huge first down.
From the 22, Vanderwall a play fake. Jackson with the pressure. Vanderwall throws a laser. It was a BB. Tough catch to handle if you're Xavier Valladay. But it was Jackson, the disruptor, who forced Vanderwall out of the pocket.
Got a fun one coming down the stretch here, partner. Never would have thought. Never would have thought down 2 scores with 8 minutes to go that we'd be in a position here with Wyoming basically getting pushed around on defense, frankly. And they finally got one stop. Their quarterback, their backup quarterback in the game. You lose your starting running back and your starting quarterback on the opening drive. And here you are.
And you lose your backup running back in the process as well. 2nd down. Time for Vanderwall toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Austin Conway! Unbelievable!
Not only is this such a great throw from Vanderwall, Austin Conway, he's going to take a lick. There's a big-time shot delivered at the end of this throw, and somehow it's cold, it's icy. You're trying to win a game for your seniors. Look at this catch. The concentration down the middle of the field. You're going to take a blow.
He lost his mouth guard, but he held on to the football on the big hit by Fedulum. And what a story developing in Laramie for Tyler Vanderwall.
But let's remember, you still have to kick a PAT in the snow. And you've got a kicker here who has been excellent all season long.
Now it's Cooper Roth, one of the best kickers in college football.
On the kickoff.
A Groza semifinalist on to attempt the point after. He's been perfect this year to try to give the Cowboys the improbable 1-point lead late in this game. Jesse Hooper is the snapper. Hold is down, kick is through, and Wyoming with a furious fourth quarter rally. Craig Bull's Cowboys go up 1.
Now the football game's not over because Donald Hammond's still going to have something to say about this if you're an Air Force fan. But with only a minute to go, their offense has to be opened up a little bit. It's not designed to play from behind with a minute to go the length of the field. And you also have a penalty. The targeting will be assessed on this kickoff here.
What a feeling this must be for Tyler Vanderwall, especially the way the year has went. You just never know when your number is going to get called, and he has responded in a big way. And now Air Force will try to counter Vanderwall's heroics. Hammond to throw, tipped, and it's intercepted by Wilson. The governor of Wyoming is how they tab him. He wanted to be a Cowboy his entire life, and he comes up with the pick and sends the Wyoming sideline into a frenzy.
What a way to finish the football game. You said it. The governor. Logan Wilson in the middle of that defense, his second interception of the season, his 7th career pick, could not have come at a better time for the Cowboys. The stadium's alive, partner. It's not full, but it's alive. And everybody watching at home, if you're a Cowboy fan, you probably can't believe what you just saw. Because nobody thought the Cowboys would come back and win this football game. The governor, he thinks people are crazy for going to another school other than Wyoming. Grew up rooting for the Cowboys. Signs autographs for hours after practice. Huge, huge play.
Hollywood could not have scripted a better ending if you're Wyoming, with everything that has happened in this game. Valladay on first down. Air Force still with some timeouts. They'll burn one here. 58 seconds to go.
Timeout, Air Force, the first of the half. 32nd in length.
Ball security important here.
Second timeout of the half.
Look at that young man. They call him Dewey. Andrew Wingard, your senior, 6 foot, 214 pounds. I love the locks. He's a bad dude. I'm telling you what, I talked to a couple people again in the NFL who say this guy will play in the league. He may not be a starter, but he'll play 10 years. He'll be a 4-phase special teams guy. I think he's got a chance to get drafted. He reminds me of one of my old teammates, John Wendling, who played for the Cowboys way back when, who was a teammate when I was with the Buffalo Bills. Played a long time in the National Football League, making a paycheck, covering kicks, being a backup safety, find his way in. I think this guy can play in the league. I've been so impressed watching him in my film studies we prepare for this football game.
Air Force can stop the clock one more time, and if you're the Falcons, unless they can get a miraculous turnover, and you don't put anything past you today, as Valladay,
stay in bounds,
running hard, will be tracked down by Norn. Now Air Force will use their third and final timeout. A little more than 50 seconds to go.
The third and final timeout of the half.
Wyoming with the 1-point lead. Right now he is 52 seconds away from dialing up a pretty special win. Valladay is going to cap it off with an exclamation point. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Somebody call up Scott Van Pelt.
Number 62 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
That was almost a bad beat on Monday night.
Rudy Stouffer with the holding call at the point of attack. Wipe out the touchdown run by Valladay.
The penalty for offensive holding has been declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
And that may end up being on bad beats on Monday night.
So in the end, it's the freshman Valladay who scores. Quick thinking by Troy Calhoun. And take a look at the reaction from Mr. Wilson. What's going on? Not on your same page right there, Dustin.
Yeah, and a big PAT here, because if some way, some shape or form, Air Force goes down and scores a touchdown, they'd still need to get the 2-point conversion.
Roth with the point after, and it is good. So Wyoming scores again. The Cowboys behind a big fourth quarter. They lead by 8. On the return from the goal line, Air Force with the throwback on the kick return, trying to catch Wyoming over pursuing, but the throw was offline from Gerard Sanders, the starting wide receiver, as he tried to hook up with Rimsberg and get that sophomore in open space.
You see Hammond's not happy.
He's letting some precious time off the clock. Finally takes the snap. Hammond sets. This one sailed on him, and it's picked off. An interception by Wingard, and Wyoming about to party on a snowy Saturday night in Laramie.
He was a 2-star recruit out of high school. He had one offer. It was Wyoming. Andrew Wingard comes up with a huge play on senior day. Look how excited that young man is. He was 170 pounds when he came to Wyoming. He's 210 pounds. He's a starting strong safety, all Mountain Conference 2 times. Special player. Craig Bull's going to miss him. Talk about a way to cap off your senior season.
As we go back one more time to the interception, as Wingard read the eyes of Hammond, one of the top tacklers in the history of this university, seals the deal for the Cowboys. And you look at it for Wyoming and what Craig Bull has been able to do. The Cowboys looking to secure their 3rd straight win, this late season push. A team that started a true freshman at quarterback the last couple of weeks, a team that features a running back in Nico Evans, who hardly saw the football his first 4 years on the field, did not transfer, stayed with the process, is going to win the Mountain West rushing title more than likely. A number of walk-ons for Coach Bull, no individualism, no names on the back of the jerseys. This is how he runs a program, and today they showed some of that fourth quarter toughness in a rousing comeback as they knock off Air Force 35-27.
They say ride for the brand. Big time performance here in the fourth quarter from the Cowboys. 3 touchdown drives. Never would have thought this would be the case. If you watched the first 3.5 quarters of this game, you would have thought that Air Force was going to cruise to victory. But that was not the case. That young man right there, Tyler Vanderwall, was forced into action because of their injury to a starting quarterback, Sean Chambers. Didn't play great, but he played great when it mattered in the fourth quarter.
A thriller in the snow in Laramie. Wyoming picks up their 3rd straight win. They improved to 5-6. Tough loss for Air Force. The Falcons were in control of this game. Dominated the ground game pretty much all afternoon up until that final series when Wyoming needed one stop. The Cowboy defense was able to get it.
I think they play for their seniors. You've got 16 seniors here on senior day, your last game as a Cowboy. It's snowing. It's perfect Wyoming conditions. The locals love it. The players love it. 7,200 feet. Are you kidding me? And to come back down 3 scores? Unbelievable.